I grew up in the fair city of Anoka. It was a wonderful place to live. My name is David Erickson. For anybody that watches this, way back when, my nickname was Specs. I was at Lincoln Elementary in fourth grade the first year it was open, September of 1949.
My name is Kerry Kent, and I was at the school from the fall of 1955 to the spring of 1962.
My name now is Lori McKechnie, but I was Lori Farrier back in the day. I was there probably from 1960 to 1966.
I'm Sarah Henning, and I was at Lincoln from the fall of 1986 to I think 1992. Spring of 1992. I can remember my first day of kindergarten and walking into the school. I had an older brother, so I kind of had been in the school before and knew what to expect. I remember the excitement of going to school for the first time. And I also remember the last day of fifth grade. So I remember those first and last days pretty vividly, actually. So
when I first started, they had just added on or were finishing the add-on to the school on the south side. So in kindergarten, they had 2 kindergarten classes together in the old room. And then after a couple months, we ended up moving down to the new school. They split it up and we moved to the new room.
Because she was my favorite teacher, my favorite class was fourth grade, where Catherine Malone was my teacher. She went on to become, 2 years later, she became the fifth grade teacher. 1 year earlier, I would have had her for fifth grade too. The next year after that, those same kids got her again, as she had moved to sixth grade.
we had Miss Marshall as a PE teacher, and I was just describing her the other day to someone else, and she's just like a gem of a human. So the specialists were all the teachers were really amazing, actually. I loved all my teachers. So I would say overall, those were my favorite classes, and I really loved my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Stong. I had a great time in her class for sure. So,
my favorite teacher, I think, would have been Mrs. Carlson. That was fifth grade, and we did a lot of different things. Even rode my bike out to where her house was one time with a friend along the river and stuff, and I played some piano. There was a room next to it where we had a piano, and I played some songs there once in a while for the rest of the kids.
I think my second grade year, where we had a group of 36 students, and we were luckily a group that didn't need a lot of direction. So our teacher, Miss Moan at the time, Mrs. Johansson now, just did creative things with us. We had all kinds of art, we had music, we had chickens. Her fiance had Johansson Chicken Farm, and so we would hatch eggs. It was just a magical year. That was my very favorite year.
Okay, most of the years I was Miss Moen, and I was married along the way, and I was Mrs. Johansson. And I came in 1960 and through 70, so I was Lincoln for 10 years. I became known as the chicken lady. I happened to have access to a small incubator. My father-in-law had a feed store, and he happened to have it. Anyway, so I would go to Ghostly's, and we would get the eggs and bring them back, and then we had to mark them because you had to turn them and all those kinds of things. So that's what we had to do every single day. You turn them and things. And as far as the kids, I had them making books and telling about what we're doing and how we're doing it and those kinds of things. And then along with that, thank goodness, we had the nicest janitor. Harold Hiltz was his name, and he lived 1 block from school. And he, on the weekends, or if it was a snow day or something like that, he would walk up to the school, go in, and he would turn the eggs for us. Sometimes not all eggs got turned, but they seemed to all hatch anyway. And then it was great. Ghostly's would take the chickens back after we were done with our project. It was always fun. I think the kids enjoyed it, and I did too. It was a fun project.
What's one thing that you learned there that has stayed with you your entire life?
Well, because was an educator for 34 years, I think that learning how to be a teacher from the desk watching Miss Johansson or Miss Moan at the time, and figuring out that's what I wanted to do. So I guess that would be it.
Probably to behave and work with people. I was kind of a little problem child to start with, and then kind of learned to get along with people. It just happened gradually as we went through. Probably about by third grade, I was settling down pretty good again.
Besides the academic learning, we really learned a lot about community. I think growing up in Anoka and having it be the Halloween capital of the world, and really having a pretty big school district that was still very connected, I think they did a really great job of teaching us how to foster community in the school and how that extended outside of school too. So I think that's probably what sticks with me the most.
I don't know how I happened to be lucky enough. When I came to Anoka to teach, I had never been to Anoka before in my life. I took the train, whatever. I had this job, and here I got there, and here I thought one of the prime schools. I lucked out. We always had these homemade cinnamon rolls. Well, I have the recipe if anyone's interested. I won't read all the ingredients, but it takes 6 pounds of flour. So it kind of gives you an idea how many caramel rolls they used to make. Yeah, hundreds. And I guess one other thing has always been special to me. The year I got married, all my kids chipped together and bought me a sterling silver cake knife. And of course, we used it. My daughter has used it. And this last fall, my granddaughter used it. So it's a good memory thing, and it was a very, very cool thing to receive.
I still spend a lot of time roaming around looking at the various houses that I owned, lived in, schools that I went to, friends' houses, stop and see people that I knew way back when. Thanks again, like I said, I enjoyed growing up in this wonderful city.